This hotel, at the very heart of it, is a love story. But there's no romance involved here. I'm going to explain exactly what I mean, and of course there's a full tour coming as well. So let's get into it. Welcome to Delhi. If you'd like to know the exact rate that I paid for my stay, or my next 5 videos in queue, please check out the description below. And if you're new here, hi there and welcome to the channel. My name is Kevin. I think that the world needs a bit more honest travel content these days, especially for this hotel. So I make airline trip reports and high-end hotel reviews, all without invitation. I always film without the company's knowledge, and I self-fund my trips to be sure I get a true experience. Then, I give you nothing more than my own personal, honest, unbiased opinion. Hi there. If you're here for the full tour and review, and only the full tour and review, kindly skip ahead to the timestamp on your screen now. If you're here for the full love story, stick around. Friendly warning. The following is a rant. I know it's a rant. You'll soon know it's a rant. Let's just get that out of the way. Okay, so first up, for this specific stay, I should mention that I passed up on the Oberoi, the Taj Palace, the Lodi, and the Rosate. Actually, 2 days before my stay, I was triple booked between this hotel, the Lodi, and the Rosate. The reason I chose Andaz in the end is that love story that I mentioned earlier. But as I mentioned already, this wasn't a romantic type of love story. This was, how shall I say, a financial arrangement. Let me give you a good idea of why I chose the Andaz. The Times of India said the ANDAZ Delhi offers an unparalleled experience for all. The Telegraph says Hyatt's first Andaz foray into India is a triumph. GQ India says it's the most sought-after hotel right now. It was the winner of Travel + Leisure India's Trendsetter of the Year award in 2019. The Hotel Guru said it's the hotel not to be missed. Vogue said it's the ideal sanctuary for travelers. Outlook India went in pretty deep and said these environments dissolve barriers and encourage creative thinking, interaction, and conversation. The Great Business Traveler said it's an ideal hotel for guests who have a penchant for art and wish to immerse themselves in a world of curated luxury. Lofty Condé Nast said it was a sensory exploration in this capital city. Travel + Leisure Asia said it's a gastronomic expedition where Epicurean dreams come true. The Hindustan Times said it's a groundbreaking lifestyle hotel. Trusted Travel + Leisure said it's the best luxury address in Delhi. Explore the capital city to its entirety by stepping into a single space. Wow. Architectural Digest claims it's among the world's best hotels. I mean, really, who on earth wouldn't want to visit the ANDAZ Delhi, am I right? Except I shouldn't be right. Disclaimer. Content produced by Juniper Hotels Private Limited, hosted on a complimentary basis. This is a sponsored article. Some were even brazen enough to say the article in its entirety was published by Andaz itself. That's some really great journalism, Condé Nast and GQ India. Way to keep it classy. So you see, the love story here began when Andaz started paying for their love to every suitor who fancied to go. There is one final quote that I left out though. Dare I say, the most important one, in this context at least. It's a f***ing airport hotel. That one is by me. That's what the Andaz Delhi is. An airport hotel. A very nice airport hotel. But it is not the pinnacle of luxury. It is not one of the best hotels on earth. It is not where Epicurean dreams come true. All of that is pure marketing and BS. The lines between true reviews, true opinions, and real journalism, and purely sponsored content are getting blurrier each and every day. The only person that this hurts is you, the consumer. It doesn't hurt me. In fact, it kind of riles me up and inspires me. It tells me that I've chosen the correct path for this channel. I'm not tooting my own horn in any way, but I am telling you to be careful of what content you consume and who you trust, especially when you're making decisions about how to spend your hard-earned cash. If you mention sponsored airline content, the same few names always come up. That's fine. But I think hotel-sponsored content is more difficult to spot. Sponsored content on its own, by the way, is not a sin. At least I don't think so. But not disclosing the sponsorship crystal clearly, or just regurgitating the client's info and calling it your own review, that's pathetic. All I will say is I pledge to always be honest. What will the format and content of this channel be years from now? I have absolutely no idea. Except for the fact that whatever I publish will be my own opinion and nothing more. So, how about we get into the tour itself, shall we? Might I also mention that with all of this marketing fluff, no matter how frankly disgraceful I think it is, I hold that much more against the publishers who left their spines in 2008. In this case, Andaz is simply playing within the lines of the game and selling itself. So the only way that I hold this against them is if they don't deliver on what they promise to be. Alright, well, we already saw the lobby and common areas on the ground floor. Let's get into where we are and what does actually make this hotel so appealing. The Capital District has 3 distinct areas. All 3 of those areas have insane traffic. In a nutshell, there's an effort to promote what is being called Aero City, which is a cluster of commercial and hospitality establishments near the airport. It's being promoted as a perfect meeting spot if, for example, your office is in New Delhi and your colleague works in Gurugram. It's called Aero City because it literally butts up to the airport itself, but it's not really that big of an area and by no means is an actual city. Again, a big old dose of marketing. As for the hotel itself, for those of you that are aviation enthusiasts, there are 2 basic views that you could have if you pay for an airport view. Towards the airport itself, or towards the end of the runway. I had the former, but I wish I was towards the end of the runway. In this case, I'd say, if the air quality is good while you're there, overlooking the airport is great. But if the air quality is pretty poor, I think overlooking the end of the runway would be better. Back inside now, we have Juniper Bar, which I've seen explained in so many different ways. It's a gin bar, and it's an open plan bar, as in there's no behind the bar. The space unto itself is nice, but it's in the middle of a very transient part of the lobby, so you'll be sipping your G&Ts perhaps while seated next to your flight crew. Anecdotally, I saw that Singapore Airlines and Korean Air both used this hotel for their layovers. One thing I failed to mention while you were looking at the lobby is I do enjoy the design language and I like the palette throughout the hotel. Outside in the courtyard, we're surrounded by the Andaz and the Hyatt residences. We have the beautiful pool area here, with the majority of the space likely saved for events and such on the side. Andaz, as you may know, is part of the world of Hyatt and currently has around 28 properties, with this one being the largest with 401 rooms plus 126 residences. I like Andaz as a brand, but I do take issue with them choosing this location. First, quote, "See the locally inspired architecture in our facades" is literally one of their taglines. Okay, I'm looking. Second piece is, Andaz, which in Hindi means personal style, is a brand that is said to be all about fully immersing yourself in a locale. So that begs the question, how on earth does an Andaz airport hotel make sense? Hyatt Regency? Sure. JW? Why not? Andaz? I think you're just diluting your brand. Now we're in Soul Pantry, which is their on-site fast service dining option. Alright, let's head up to my room. First up, I gotta say, this hotel was opened in 2016, and they are already in desperate need of a carpet replacement in the corridors. I don't know what kind of likely recycled plastic material this carpet is made of, but it just looks gross. Inside the room itself, it's mostly positives, and the room itself is massive, simply for the sake of being massive, I think. Centering the bed, though, was, I guess, a bridge too far. A lot of the design details in the room I am really a fan of, and they're fitting of the location. It's kind of like a Monet painting. From afar, it may look like a bit of a standard design, but the closer you get up, the more small, locally inspired details you'll find. The minibar is fully stocked and is completely included in all of the rooms. Glass bottled purified water is on offer. Good on them for using glass, but they need a better proof of seal system for the bottles themselves. Andaz is becoming the crown royal in the lofty corporate language field and says this about their brand. Quote, Andaz properties are vibrant boutique hotels and resorts that act as social anchors in their communities. Located in prime locations, they weave the sights, sounds, and tastes of their surroundings to create a truly immersive stay. Every Andaz hotel was designed to fully immerse you in the destination, to be a vital, beautiful, and above all, seamless extension of its locale. And that brings us to this hefty little book right here, 401 Reasons to Fall in Love with Delhi. One reason for each room in the hotel. A concept that I think is pretty clever. I love it. I think more hotels should put together hotel-specific guide materials for their guests. But it does feel a bit like Andaz was trying to channel all of their Andaz lofty language energy into this one book, since they knew the airport location itself didn't really make sense. This sofa is giving me flashbacks to the Park Hyatt in Auckland. The wardrobe was, what I feel is the new standard, was a 3-door unit with shelves and drawers behind one and hanging space behind the other side. The bathroom, considering there's no tub, was a nice layout. One sink, but a very wide vanity area with a large mirror in front, which slide to hide the bathroom from the rest of the room. I also really like the burlap amenities. On the back end, just under half of the space is for the toilet room, and the other side is the shower. The only bit that I didn't enjoy about it was that the two parts share a single sliding door. So if one side was shut, the other side was open. Something that might not be convenient for couples or families sharing the room. In the shower, they had their own branded products, which, let's face it, are just generic products. Not impressed here. As you know already, for me, it's all about the details. So here are 3 details in the room that I wasn't really a fan of. Number 3, cleanliness. Certainly it's not a blatantly dirty room, but the attention to detail, especially in the corners and the nooks, could be better. Number 2, material quality. Whether it's sharp edges, or wardrobe doors that never stay closed, or desks that wobble, quality was not the name of the game here. And number 1, the floors. Oh god, the floors. They creaked, splintered, cracked, pinched, literally made me bleed. I brought it to the front desk's attention, meant as something to look at after I checked out, but they were on the ball and insisted to send up an engineer literally right away. He more or less put a band-aid on the problem, but props to the front desk themselves for their responsiveness. But I assure you, it's not all bad in here. My 3 favorite things? Number 3, the bed itself. Hyatt is always a bit magical in this area for me. Number 2, it's not that it's a free minibar, but that's also pretty great, but it's that it's a free minibar that has a few snacks that are actually interesting in it, for someone at least that doesn't live in India. And number 1, the view. Air quality or not, I will always be in love with airport views. For the most part, the windows were well insulated, but as large jets spooled up, you could hear a bit of a rumble, but I actually enjoyed that. So, who's staying here? Well, let me see. Everyone and their mother and their father and their boss and the flight crew and the kids and the neighbor and the colleague. It was a very diverse crowd. One note, for all of my India hotel videos in this series, this graphic will always have the same note over here on the right about air quality. There are plenty of ways to experience just about any city or site in India when it has good air quality. You just need to do a bit of research first to find the best time. For their useful multi-year history graphics, my preferred site for this kind of research is aqicn.org. Absolutely no affiliation. Okay, time to check out the food venues. I'm going to spare you the language that Andaz uses to describe Anamaya, which is meant to look and function like a European food hall. It's a strikingly beautiful space, especially during the mornings when the sunlight is pouring in, and I have nearly no complaints about the food. But there does seem to be a bit of a disconnect regarding this being a food hall. There's a range of Western and Indian and Asian specialties on this jam-packed menu. Make sure to give it a full read. I started with the Pav Bhaji donuts, which were delightfully crisp and refreshing. I know refreshing and donut are not usually put together. For the main dish, I had their version of a chicken korma, which was delicious, but with the meat served on the bone, there really wasn't that much of it. Just upstairs from the food hall are a series of working spaces meant to serve as an informal business center as well as multiple function spaces. There was one other venue that I wanted to go to, actually I planned, in my head at least, to go to, the Hong Kong Club, which was a Chinese restaurant located just adjacent to the spa in the round glass structure in the courtyard. This place was hyped quite a bit when it opened, but unbeknownst to me, it had closed permanently before I arrived. It was replaced by the Kubani Club, which was not open during my stay. Before heading to breakfast, a quick peek at the spa and gym reception area. Okay, now on to breakfast. It was a buffet and it was chaotic. I arrived just 2 minutes after it opened and there was already a line. I was asked my room number and then not a word. I asked what to do and she just bluntly said, "Sit anywhere." Okay, good morning to you too. On a whole, the buffet was good. There was a wide range of Western and Indian dishes. My biggest complaint was a Russian roulette that you needed to play with the lids to the pots. 170 hotels in, and I still have no idea why hotels insist on using cast iron pots with their lids, which are boiling hot. You'll see me actually burn my hand in one of the clips. Service, as in for drinks and things like that, here it was friendly but a little bit clumsy. Coffees took quite a while, but they were good once they came. I did need to specifically ask for a glass water glass though, as I knew from the night before, the copper water cups on the table reeked of that metallic smell and taste. Taking a sip of water felt like sucking on a penny. Before I wrap this up, I'll just say a few words about service in general. As I already mentioned, it was overall action-oriented and they were accommodating, but it wasn't overtly friendly or welcoming. And there was also this strange awkwardness about the uniform. Everyone wears jeans because, they're cool. But it's very clear that this is not a uniform that everyone is comfortable in. It's kind of like when McDonald's started issuing jeans as part of their uniform. The generic fit, monotonous shade, and golden arches emblazoned on the butts kind of took away from what it was meant to accomplish in the first place. I really do hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you didn't mind the opening rant. It's something that I've had on my mind for a while, and the amount of content written about this property really just pushed me over that edge. That said, if you did enjoy it, please be sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe with notifications on. That way you don't miss out on any of my upcoming content. I'll see you next time on the flight that brought me to this wonderful city of Aero, Thai Airways in business class from Bangkok to Delhi. Oh, and thanks for watching until the end.